Welcome back to Chasing My Potential, where I help you discover those knowledge gaps massively holding you back. Whether it be them small technical details or decision making, we cover it all, leaving no stone unturned. In a surprise 1-0 loss from Belgium versus Slovakia, there were some great performances. One of them being Kevin De Bruyne. You will learn how to see the game like him and what small details he adds to his game. That you don't. So follow along and see what knowledge gaps you could unlock today. In the 11th minute, we see this incredible pass trying to find Doku. If he was sprinting a tiny bit earlier, this would have been a pinpoint pass. But firstly, look how he's hanging off the blind side of the winger. This now means as he goes to press, he has no idea whether De Bruyne is going here or here. Meaning his press is ineffective, as he's shutting off neither angle. He just runs straight, so the ball easily finds De Bruyne, who supports his teammate well. In the 14th minute, we see his receiving skills. As the ball gets switched from centre-back to centre-back, I want you to notice how this was the theme of the game. De Bruyne between the lines. You will see this a lot in this analysis. As the centre-back touches out his feet, the opposition midfielder is running across to De Bruyne. Now, as the ball gets played to the defensive midfielder, De Bruyne still on the blind side does an opposite movement back on the defender. Now receiving the ball with a chasing defender, he stops the ball and then runs over it, baiting the chasing midfielder this way, and then does an outside shot backwards to avoid that outstretched leg, and finds Doku. In the 15th minute, we see him play this deadly pass. Initially, he passes the ball inside, and look where he runs, again between the lines. Now, a really good reverse pass here. Facing this way, information for both opposition players that he's looking to pass here. Lukaku bounces it off to De Bruyne, and look how he escapes this tight area. He fakes to take the ball with his right foot, making this defender run here, and then at the last second, catches the ball with his back foot, and look how he catches this retreating defender by surprise. His next touch bursts into this space, cutting across this player's path if he were to engage, and he switches the play. Receiving the ball back with his teammate making the aggressive blindside run, he has a scan as the ball is halfway to him and spots the obvious passing lane and space, and the ball is so close to going through. In the 31st minute, playing the ball back to Lukaku and making a blindside run. As he receives the ball, he notices the passing lane due to the midfielder being deep. Initially, this defender is in the way, so all he needs to do is knock it to the side, and then he passes the ball on the stretch for maximum disguise, before then making the blindside run. In the 33rd minute, playing an over-the-top ball to Doku. If you want to get better at receiving the ball in tight areas, watch this. As he receives the ball, he doesn't immediately knock the ball into space. Why? Because this defender's momentum is already going this way, so he delays, faking a subtle fake pass with the outside of his foot before then going into this space against his momentum. So notice if you receive the ball square and you have a player tracking you from in front, sometimes you need to try and slow their momentum down first before taking the ball into space. If you take the ball into space straight away, they're already at a sprint and they can easily get there. Head up, huge passing lane, and Doku making the run. Light work for Kevin De Bruyne. In the 43rd minute, pass out wide, but one really important thing to highlight. His pass is in the air to avoid the outstretched leg. On the floor, it will get cut out. We see Iniesta lifting so many balls in these situations. In the 45th minute, linking up on the left side with Doku. Firstly, look where he is, in between the lines again. Being in between the lines isn't only good to receive the ball to feet, you can gain what's called the third man pass, which is where player C, for example, is in the most dangerous position, but player A can't pass him the ball directly, but he can go through player B, who gives it to player C. This way, you go undetected from the opposition midfield, as you're not an initial threat. But if your team's thinking one step ahead, it's very dangerous. De Bruyne opens up away from pressure and then plays in Doku, who comes back out to De Bruyne, who opens up while still scanning here. Thinking one step ahead, he knows exactly what he's doing. De Bruyne opening up like this makes these players switch off and even move across. One, giving Doku more time and less opponents around him, but two, opening up a passing lane to him. He rolls the ball back, but doesn't initially pass. Why? He now needs to see this player's momentum. He touches the ball again here, and we see this passing lane is now open. So sometimes it's really interesting when you're watching Kevin De Bruyne, he's not a flary player, and we wouldn't class his dribbling as exceptional, for example. Two of many things that he's mastered is his receiving skills and his football IQ. He seems so relaxed and everything looks super easy for him. But his biggest strength isn't his passing ability. It's first of all being able to see the pass and understanding the cues and triggers that he needs to look for to see if it's on. In the 46th minute, he's again between the lines and tries to play in Lukaku, who's been very clever, starting offside and letting the defender's momentum move backwards, bringing him onside. Doing this, strikers can confuse the markers. In the 47th minute, between the lines again, and he makes this dangerous run. In Man City, the pass would go here, but the winger is being clever, actually trying to play it through the defender's legs, which nearly works. In the 54th minute, he shows his composure. Receiving the ball here, how many players would hit this defender? But he thinks one step ahead and plays it through this passing lane for the wide man to run onto. Control with his right, pass with his left. If you're liking this video so far, please hit that like button. It helps out massively. Thanks, back to the video. In the 58th minute, De Bruyne is showing how to be press resistant, and this nearly leads to a goal. Facing here, with the defender's momentum coming this way, he now rolls the ball back, making the defender change his line, and immediately takes it back the other way, so sharply out of nowhere. Busquets-esque. Who plays to Lukaku, who finds the third man again. Remember, player A can't pass to player C, but he can if he goes through player B. And hold-up play for wingers and strikers, this is a nice rule you can think of. When you need to bounce the ball off fast, have a look who is your teammate in a dangerous position that can't receive the ball initially from teammate A. But as the ball comes into you, you can find it. In the 60th minute, I just wanted to highlight this touch. Again, nothing fancy, but so efficient. It's a fake to open up, and we see the defender sprinting here, and then a quick snap back against his momentum. Cruz also likes to do this one of the many ways to receive the ball we are fully systemizing with the Art of Receiving course in progress. And lastly, in the 79th minute, ripping it up in tight spaces. Scanning, he knows the pressure is here. Now he leaves the ball enticing him in, and scanning. At the perfect time, he moves the ball inside as the defender commits on the outside. Now, instead of passing here, he waits to now pass, giving this player way more time on the ball. Also, making it easier for a potential 1-2 as he drew these players closer to him. And there we have it. Firstly, it's so interesting, all of the different players we've analysed so far. They're all so different and they all impact the game in so many different ways. For me, Kevin De Bruyne is one of the very most interesting players around. The impact this guy has, whilst keeping it as simple as possible, shows why he's one of the best. And he's of course one of the most intelligent footballers out there. For you midfielders, hopefully you got a lot from this one, mainly how he thinks and the cues that he's looking for in specific scenarios, as well as small tactics he uses, like turning his hips opening out on purpose one way, with the intention of going back in here. And his receiving and movement is immense, especially his movement between the lines. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow along, as we will be bringing you all of the best performances in the Euros. For you ballers, you may be so close to drastically improving your game by tweaking one or two small details. Maybe your delay skills, maybe your baiting skills, or your awareness. Whatever it might be, see if you can find these in this analysis that we just covered to help take your game to that next level. But most of all, keep chasing your potential.